Hello and welcome back to my channel. So this is episode 3 of Etsy Archaeology, where I share shops that I've dug up on Etsy that have printables that we would probably like to use in our journals and paper crafting. The shop featured in this episode is called Country at Heart 2008. You can click the link below to go directly to her shop. And she wanted me to try to do a journal with some of her items. I contacted her about purchasing some of the items for this, and she offered to send me some for free if I would make a journal with them. And since I needed to make a journal for a blind custom order, I thought that worked perfectly. So this is what I came up with. It's kind of a shabby chic, vintage pink flowers. I used a pink textured cardstock that I just kind of glimmer misted and coffee dyed to kind of give it some aging. And then we have some stitching around the edge and some trim from Junk That Treasures here on the edge. And then this image and this image are from Country at Heart. So this was a set of 4 coasters that printable like coaster tops that I asked for because I knew I liked the images and I would use them in journals. So this is the main focal point for the whole journal. And it comes in a set of 4, but this is the one I chose. And then there's like this vintage linen behind it, and then some rhinestones. And down here, there was a page of definitions for love, faith, and hope. And so this is the definition for love, and there's some rhinestones there as well. So for the closure, I used some vintage, I think this is like bias tape or seam binding. It's, you know, the stuff you fold over and put on like a baby blanket. Anyway, so I got this at that local quilt shop, Hider Hangout, that I told you about. It was in one of the grab bags of leftover trims and things. So I did some stitching. See, my boys are laughing in the background. Some stitching on it with my sewing machine. And so that is the tie. So let's get into it. So I used some leftover packaging to make this little pocket. And then there's a wallpaper tag with some more of this vintage binding or whatever, and then a coffee dyed and stamped tag. Here is her definition, hope, and I added some washi tape to hold that on. I also got a page full of these dress forms that are really beautiful, and so I have one here as a tuck spot, and then an index card that I put lace on, and then just a scrap piece for journaling. I printed on these are like certificate papers. They're old certificate papers I had laying around, so I used this instead of coffee dyed paper. So I added a paper ribbon to the side here, and then I printed some of her flowered papers that she gave me on the other side, so it gives it a nice vintage look. And then this page is a card, a blank card, and I did a little burlap flag, whatever that's called there. And then a sticker, more of her flowered paper, book page, and a little wallpaper tag clipped on there, wallpaper corner, and a little file folder journaling card. Lots of room for journaling in here. Here's a book page tag. This is her paper. There's a little belly band with a wallpaper tag. More of her paper, book pages, another paper ribbon, more of her paper. This was cut out from one of the coasters, and I did it as a tuck spot to add this little book page in. More of her paper, a little book plate that I made, an index card pocket with a giant journaling card that I added some lace to. This is her paper in the background. More of her paper. And then I clipped one of the little dress forms onto this crossword thing, and there's a little bead hanging there. This is her paper in the middle, and I did some corner tuck spots with journaling cards. Another one of her dress forms, and I added a little iron button to that, and this is a little fold-over pocket. This is her paper in the background. This is another coaster. I just sewed it around so it can be a journaling card. Her paper. More of her paper. Here's another definition. There's faith. That's from her as well. So go check out her shop. Here's a vintage subtraction card on her paper back here, and a coffee dyed corner tuck spot. Go check out her shop on Etsy, and she has a lot of beautiful things, beautiful for journals. I love working with flowers. I loved how she had other colors too, like this beautiful purple, and it ties really well with these book pages I chose. A vintage Rolodex pocket and a little bird tag I made. Look at this page, so gorgeous. So go check her out on Etsy and look at her digital files. She's got quite a few of them. And thank you for providing them for me so that I could make this wonderful, delicious journal. And I can't wait to send this journal to its new home. So thank you for watching this episode of Etsy Archaeology, and I'll see you back here shortly.